Sometime in Arma, you don't want to just grub around as an individual or a small group. You want to take place in larger battles. So today we're going to be looking at the advantages of various AIs and high command modules for multiplayer, and to see what these do to add this feeling that you're in a larger battle when you're playing with your buddies in multiplayer. We've actually gotten fairly successful in fighting some larger battles and having some memorable experiences when we don't have like platoon or company level amount of players to play multiplayer. Links to all these mods are in the description. I use the same mission and the same attack and defense parameters for every test. The defense consists of a platoon of about 20 guys in fire teams with one heavy machine gun and some reinforcing QRF elements to include an APC with a squad and a police vehicle. Several triggers were set to release the police vehicle and the QRF. I had some effects at the airfield with tracers and explosions to replicate that the fighting for the airfield was going on at the same time. I also executed the attack the same way every time. We moved from the assembly area to a release point, and from there I put together a little plan for the attack. I established security, I established support by fire position, and then I moved the troops up. They're all on hold until the time comes to actually do the attack. Contact normally occurs at some point during the advance to phase line 1, and then it's game on. I use assault and clear building area commands to get the troops to get into and get rid of the enemy in these first phase line. Once at phase line 1, we clear south to phase line 2, making our way methodically through the village. There's a heavy machine gun position that has to be dealt with. Once the western edge of the village is cleared, we clear it through to the eastern end of the village. At some point we have to deal with the QRF APC, which always causes a little bit of a problem. Sometimes they drive along the main road, sometimes they come from the more southern approach. The APC has infantry support, and if there's been time to set up your defenses before it gets there, it goes a little bit better than it does if they hit before you've gotten to the eastern edge of the village. Either way, it's something that's got to be dealt with. Getting AT elements over there is critical, and once the APC is destroyed, that pretty much breaks the back of the defense. It allows us to consolidate our positions in preparation for the final push on the police headquarters in the southeast corner of the map. Once this is done, that completes the mission. I wanted to do the attack the same way every time to sort of reduce the amount of variables when assessing the AI. This first test is using Tactical Combat Link and Advanced AI Command as the high command tool. Advanced AI Command is a good sort of replacement for the basic high command module. Gives you a little bit more articulation, especially useful if you're like moving, troops around by helicopters. This setup, the high command elements moved without a lot of hassle, but they did take more casualties in the process. Advanced AI command, allows you to click and move things pretty easily, and it's a good basic command tool. We used it a lot in the early years of our gaming. One big advantage of Advanced AI command is that it works in multiplayer when you have multiple people high commanding different units. In all of these tests, the individual AI was pretty good. They took cover, they didn't just stand around foolishly for the most part. And, they looked like they were fighting. It does a pretty good impression of combat. There is coordination between the groups, particularly with Tactical Combat Link. That's one of its strengths. Like, to me, it looked like this guy is trying to run away, which I thought was interesting. So there's like some morale involved here, I believe. Because of the heavy casualties, a reserve platoon was brought in. I just spawned them in. This APC, once it gets to the village, is a difficult opponent. It's easier to kill it before it gets in the village. Also, it depends on whether the AI infantry has been separated from the APC. If they're around it, it gets hard to get it, which is how it's supposed to be. So for test 1, the Tactical Combat Link with the Advanced AI Command 2, the squads were more maneuverable, but they take more casualties. Though once or twice, Zeus has unsticking is required for a squad that didn't want to leave the safety of a building. However, not bad. Now, test 2 is using TCL and Lambs together with Advanced AI Command 2. And I did not disable Lambs AI in the squads. I'll show you how to do that later on. That's something you definitely have to do for Platoon Leader. Now, in this attack, the AI engages in more prolonged firefights. They're less willing to stick their neck out and advance until they know the area is clear. So I guess that's pretty good. However, it's difficult to keep the momentum of the attack going. And I do think there's probably some thumb wrestling between TCL, Lambs, and the Advanced AI Command. Because Advanced AI Command has that auto combat and auto assault, and I think that AI sometimes runs into interference with these other AIs. There is a way to turn that off by each squad, so it can be done. However, it does make some very nice fights. Now, in this case, the enemy APC gets into the village with the infantry intact, and it is very difficult to knock it out while the infantry is around it, securing it. Even though we do eventually knock out the APC, too many casualties are taken by the platoon, and I didn't want to spawn another platoon, so I'll call this one the attack of complete failure. However, I'm doing this for multiplayer testing, so you do want to have it so the humans have to intervene in an attack to make it successful. So that's a important thing to bring up here. You got to get that right balance. Test 3 is using TCL and Lambs. However, I replaced Advanced AI 2 with the stock high command module. And the intention here is that let's see if the Advanced AI auto attack and auto combat somehow, if it's removed, you get a smoother attack just using the standard HC. Standard high command gives less articulation, ability to move and do things with the troops, and it's easier to get bogged down. It doesn't exactly move people where you want them to go. So there's definitely more problems with the basic high command when you're trying to do an attack, particularly in a village. The AI has difficulty dealing with villages and built up areas. It's easy for them to get stuck. I had to do a lot more every once in a while, go into Zeus and drag somebody out of a unit out of a building to get it moving again. And eventually it would. In these attacks where the AI is bogged down in gunfights. It requires the humans to like do flanking attacks, which is good. You know, like these are the kind of things that we want to be able to do in multiplayer. In this case here, you can see the enemy vehicles are destroyed outside of the village, so that was good. So if a unit gets too stuck, then I just like delete it and I just put another one down and put it under H command. But you know, there I am, you know, disabling the AI on a unit. Stock H high command doesn't pick up Zeus deployed units. This is a simple system to use. You know, the AI is good, but you know, less friendly AI is less aggressive. Requires humans to get the job done. So in this test, all I did was TCL and Lambs together, and I used minimal Zeus control in intervention once I get the attack set up. So pretty much this is just Lambs danger waypoints and see what kind of battle is going to get fought by these guys. If you don't do anything, they'll eventually come up with their own plans and fight each other. But you know, I'm using assault tasks and the waypoints here, using the CQB tasks, clear area tasks, garrison tasks, and you know, creates a battle. There's not much platoon leading here, but if you wanted to like have a battle where you know you have your little squad doing stuff, and there's a big war going on around them, this is one way to do it. Again, you're up to the mercy of the AI here, so they may or may not proceed in their attack the way you want it to go, or at the time frames, or how aggressive they are. So there's, like I said, no platoon leading that is occurring here. Comes this pesky vehicle again. In this one, the attack got nowhere. It was wiped out at the end of the day by this QRF. I mean, I don't even think they got very far into the village. An effective attack is much more difficult for the AI to pull off the defense. You can see here the coordination with the TCL is doing between the APC and this squad as they're both attacking from two sides. So that's kind of nice. So these last two tests are going to use Platoon Leader High Command. And I had to do it twice because the first one went so well, I was like, something must be wrong, let me try it again. Now, on this first pass, what's nice is there's a lot more things you can do with Platoon Leader High Command. Like you can set a squad somewhere and give it a sector fire very simply. That's a nice thing. You know, you can clear buildings, you can clear areas, you can assault, you can farm maneuver. We're going to see all that stuff going on here. In multiplayer, we've done some tests, and I'll put a link to one of the tests where it's best if one person is the platoon leader and the other person is the RTO who is just good with Platoon Leader High Command. Platoon Leader High Command also doesn't work with multiple platoons. Advanced AI does. Multiple platoons require one person with Platoon Leader High Command. There, you know, this is clearing a building area. We pretty much run right through this village like crap through a goose. Get some problems here on the cemetery. I order an assault by one of the fire teams. They quickly deal with the enemy up there. Now it's time to take on the police headquarters. But here comes an enemy APC. Again, this time the defense has been set ahead of time, so they can't even get into the village. Our AT element takes them out. Enemy just runs. So PLHC gives good articulation, allows you to do all kinds of things with the squads. You can have all the squads move with you, so you're not micromanaging them. It's a pretty good deal. That went so smooth, I was like, let me do it again. Notice that I have all of the squads following me, so as I'm walking, the entire platoon is following me. This is a great tool to have in high command. You know, good sense of the fighting. I feel like I'm controlling the platoon here. It's good. There is clearing enemy buildings. Because I have medics in my squad and on the headquarters, I can set up a CCP. And once I do that, the medics will run around and heal guys. Squads will heal guys too if they have medics. But this is a nice tool to have. At some point I'm wounded here, and you know, when my medic comes up and heals me, which is nice. Luckily I had that CCP on. Here comes the enemy APC. Now this time the infantry is right with it, and it makes it a little more difficult to get to them. So I had to bring the AT up, bring it around the flank. And there it goes. Once that APC is destroyed, the enemy's defenses are more or less broken. So we continue clearing the village, consolidating our defenses. Now, watch this attack. Here is the enemy using fire maneuver. One element moves and the other one goes. It's pretty nice. I'll do a video on PLHC at some point. Another one. Yeah, so PLHC combined with Lambs gave me the best performance of all of the AI tests. To set up basic high command, you know, pretty much you put down your squads, you have yourself here, you give yourself a high command module, and you sync yourself to it. Every squad you want to have gets one of these subordinate high commands. You sync the subordinate high command, and then you sync this subordinate high command to the high command commander module, and then in. And now you're in charge of all these units. What you can do is actually have, which is nice, multiple players, each with its own high command. So in this case, like this would be like a company with 3 platoon leaders, and each player is a platoon leader. So in game, this is what it looks like. Here's your squads. You have to go to the high command toggle switch, which is control space by default. It shows you like all of the units, but the ones that you are in charge of have a circle around them like that, right? And you see it down below. So if I press F4, I now have this marshal, and I can simply like tell it to go somewhere. I can say, hey, go over there. Another way to do it is on the map. I can click on right-click on an arrow and then say like, hey, I want you to go stealth when you get there. So you have options if you right-click on these waypoints. Notice that you don't have control over the other platoons. Only this guy has control over them. So it's like a basic, you know, command module. I mean, it works pretty good. You don't have a lot of things you can do with it. By hitting the tilde and then like the 1, 2, 3 through 9 keys, I can set everybody to stealth. I can go tilde and set everybody to whatever, staggered column, and they'll change formations. So, you know, you have basically all of your number key commands. By the way, here's where you find these modules in the editor. You go up here to Systems, Modules, Other, and you have High Command. There's a High Command and Subordinate. And then you right-click to sync them. to things. Now, for advanced AI command, you have another set of modules here, a little different. And there's a couple of interesting things with this. If I just do this, sync the commanders module to this guy here, I can put down any number of squads without having to do the subordinate high command. And I don't even have to sync them. So watch what happens when I do that. I don't on the lower part of the screen get the showing the icons. However, here's my squads. If I press M, so the way this works is now when I'm in the map, I see all the squads that are in here. As a matter of fact, I can Zeus in more vehicles or squads. Let's do that right now. I'll Zeus in APCs.
Standing by. Ready for orders. Ready for orders. Ready.
Okay, that's in Zeus. So now, if I press M, I not only have the squads, but I have the vehicles. So this thing automatically picks up things that are put in. This is very useful to do things on the fly with. Another great thing this does is I can have multiple people. As long as they have the high command module synced to them, they can all command. To click on it, to command a unit, which you only see through here, I can left click on it. I get all these options on the right here. So if I want to just have it go somewhere, I have to use the action button, the middle mouse button by default, add waypoints. And now every time I left click, I add a waypoint. When I'm done with what I want to do, I double right click. And there you go. Again, you can left click on something and say change the waypoint to add different formations or whatnot. This is useful in a lot of ways. I can right click on this squad and say change their behavior. Careless, safe. So notice by default you have autonomous attacking and combat mode. They'll go into their own fighting controls by default. If I turn this off, then they'll only stay there and do whatever I tell them to do. But that's a nice thought. This is the AI that sometimes gets into conflict with other AIs, but you just got to be aware of that. You can just turn it off here. Another thing I use a lot, like let's say I have a lot of units here, right, and I have like these two squads are first platoon. I can right click on them and go change color. Okay, so now I know the green units are first platoon. I can right click on it and say I want to split this group. Split it. Split it in half. And I can, there they are. I can put them back together by, say I want to join them together, I can say join a group. Which one? That one. And now they're one group again. Drive a vehicle, have this guys get into a squad. I can drive a vehicle over there. And then I'm going to say, you guys, I'm going to assign you this vehicle. And notice that you get the little icon of the vehicle. Don't click on the squad, click on the vehicle. And there they go. So we use, like, if we want to all be helicopter pilots, and we want to move like a platoon or a company of guys somewhere, I give each pilot high command, and he can order his own guys in and out. So when you land somewhere, you just click on your unit, and then you right-click, unload other groups. Don't unassign all vehicles, that kicks out the crew, but unload other groups, kicks out the squad. And there they go. If I have a helicopter, it automatically picked up that it belongs to me, so I can left-click on it. And I can just tell it, come on over here somewhere. And then I can say, hey, you can set like what altitude you want to fly in, all this kind of stuff. You can remote control it, but I want it to land. So I can tell something to get into it. There you go. Now it's going to land. Assign vehicle. There you go.
Board that vehicle. We'll go.
Now you guys go over here. Again, if I right click on it and I say unload other groups, off they go. I found it best for vehicles to be controlled individually rather than large groups. This guy over here can only control these 2 units. Well, I got the subordinate advanced AI command on there. He cannot control these, nor can these guys control his. So that's just another way of setting this up. Now, Platoon Leader High Command is probably the most, I don't know, I think it's the best of the high commands. It gives you the most articulation if you just want to be a platoon leader, either in single player or the one guy controlling the AI in multiplayer. This is the tool to use. It gives you a lot of options that we're going to. Here's how it's set up. Just like regular high command, you got to put the subordinate commands out for all your units. You are going to be able to add units on the fly with Zeus, though. That's another difference. Select the control space to get my high command situation up here. I can see I've got my squads. I can either select them with the F keys on the map by clicking on them, or I can look at a squad, press the shift button, and it highlights it. And then I can just say, go over there. So you don't even have to get in the map to control it. You can look at your squads and control it just like using hand and arm signals. I can go to Zeus and I can add an additional unit. Let's say I'm going to pick a vehicle. I can put down a marshal and put it over
Ready
there.
for orders.
Now, one thing you got to remember to do is, number one, I like to name the units so I can, so they make sense to me. And I'm going to go over here to the Lambs Danger I turn it off. So you have to make sure that all of these are turned off. And I'll show you how to do that in the editor too. Okay, so now that unit, I don't see it until I do this. I gotta press M, I press 0, add groups, middle mouse button, and then click on the unit. Now it's been added to my command. So again, now I've got I can add stuff on the fly, which is awesome. Let's just start out with the absolute best feature. So let's say I want to walk down this road here. It's not even a road really. Move all my units. I can say, you guys, get over here. You guys get over here. You guys get in front of me. By the way, if I hold on control while I'm clicking, I will add waypoints. Again, you can right click on a waypoint and change it. I can cancel the waypoint by hitting escape. Okay. So, got my platoon being set up. So I have all my units lined up the way I want, pretty much. Now if I want them to follow me, I'm going to hit tilde to get them all highlighted. I'll turn off the track though. And then I'm going to hit 1, form on commander. Now when I move, the entire platoon is moving. Check that out. That's awesome. It has all the normal high command functions. I can press Shift 8 and put everybody, minus the track of course, in staggered column. The 7 button is, I can put everybody in hold fire, but they will open fire if they get fired upon, which is nice. If I'm getting ready to make contact and I'm worried about something, I can just press 1 and say cancel stop task. Cancel stop task deletes waypoints and stops them from the various tasks they're doing. The task system is very nice. Mortar platoon, get over here.
Contact, soldier.
I want the mortars to set up their mortar. So I'm going to go select the tasks, defend position. It says, on the right there, it says, select defensive position on the map. I'm going to
Take cover. Standing by. Standing by.
This guy's now set up his mortar, and you get a menu option now called fire support. I got my mortar here. I can hit a mouse button, how many rounds I want, call strike, left click on the map.
Requesting support. 2.
Enemy!
4, 6. 3, 4. Stay sharp.
There's a lot of neat things in this task menu. If I want to shoot something, I can select a squad. In this case, we'll take first squad. If I hold down the Alt button, I can say fire at those rocks. I fire one magazine at those rocks. Suppressive fire. Squad 2, I can go M. Squad 2, I can say mounting Overwatch. Yeah, they are doing bounding Overwatch. So squad 3, I can say, the tasks normally require using the map. I can say squad 1, assault a location, and that means they'll keep going at it. They won't like fire maneuver. Normally in advance, once they run into something to get fire, they're going to get down, they're going to return fire. These guys will keep attacking. Okay, so I have a medic in my squad now. If one of my guys gets hit,
Check your goddamn fire.
I can set up a CCP. Click that and hit 5. CCP. Anybody within this area now is going to get medicked. There she goes. The game has its own medical system, you know, Platoon Leader High Command to heal guys, and again, its own AI system too. That's why you have to disable it from Lambs. So this PLHC doesn't work with every AI system. If I want to know what's going on with this squad, I can select it and say, hey, you know, what is the situation? I can hit 0, and I can go sit rep. And it tells me, health, red. It's got 3 wounded guys. There's a lot of things in this. I don't want to cover it all now, but suffice it to say that this is an excellent system. You know, you can do CQB against buildings, which is nice. But I found this to probably be the best of the high command systems. Very, very well done. So that ends this rather long video on high command and AI mods. I hope you found it informative. You know, for my money, Platoon Leader High Command is the most capable mod, though Advanced AI Command has its uses for sure. Like if you wanted to have a larger force, like a battalion, or if you want to have multiple commanders, like say a flying squadron wants to move troops, I would go with Advanced AI Command. It's a little simpler, but it has some good integration too. I'll link some videos where we're using Platoon Leader and I'll make a video where we get into Platoon Leader in more detail. If you're not having fun with Arma, it's your own damn fault. See ya.